What is up, one and all? Welcome back to the Ninja Nick 333, the greatest YouTube channel on the planet. In my opinion, you can disagree. Don't care. Just joking around. We are here for top 4. I believe we are doing Nick Moffat. It's actually weird that they put Nicholas Moffat and then Nick Moffat. Just noticing that now. They always call him Nicholas because that's his legal name and how he has it in Arcanine Labs and everything, but it's just weird that they just don't call him Nick ever. Looks like Moffat 2-0'd his opponent. He's the only one who ended up 2-0'ing his opponent in top 8. I do believe that this is the match that we're seeing, which is a rematch of the last round of Day 2 Swiss. They did end up tying, so we'll see who is able to come out. Will Nick Moffat break his top 4 curse? He's made top 4 at 2 or 3 regionals, I believe now. So we're going to see. I think this is his 3rd regional where he makes top 4. So will he be able to make it onto the finals at least? We will have to see. The other one is, of course, a Lugia mirror. So I do believe that they will want to not show Lugia mirror. And that is exactly it. We do see Andrew here. We got Peoria Regionals top 8, NAIC top 64, Indianapolis top 32, Collinsville top 4 in seniors. So he is a recent age up within the last few years. He is playing Lugia. And then we're going to have Moffat here on the other side. Or no, the other match isn't the Lugia mirror. It's Mew versus Lugia. But we're going to have Lost Box versus Lugia. Ooh. And they usually do show the other sides of the brackets when they're doing this. So they did show one side and then they flopped to the other side. So now we can see Moffat here. We got San Diego top 16, Salt Lake top 4, Baltimore top 8, Salt Lake top 4. So again, you see 2 top 4s within the last calendar year. He didn't also make top 16 in Philly in 2018. I remember because I was 18. He was 16th exactly in that tournament. That was his first Day 2, fun fact. And that was my one and only Day 2. Super proud of that. My deck was absolute dog crap. And I don't know how I made it that far. I was like, I think I was like 1 win and a tie or something away from top 8. Something stupid like that. If I won my second to last round, I think I could have ID'd in the cut. But instead I made like, I just barely whiffed top 32 when I won my last round. My resistance was not that great. We don't see anything super relevant here prized. Nothing super duper important. Maybe the energy recycler for Moffat, I suppose, but that's one of his first prize cards he's going to take. You really only need that late game. So we do see, looks like Andrew won the coin flip. He is going to go first with Lugia. That's what you like to see. Lost Box doesn't end up really caring if it goes second for the most part because it can always attack with Cramorant. Unfortunately, it does look like Moffat did start the Cramorant. You usually want to start Comfey. Even if you want to attack with the Cramorant, you do need 4 cards in your loss zone before you can attack for free with its ability to spit innocently. Never feels so innocent when you're getting spit on, but that's just my opinion. Andrew is here. He's going to be searching his deck for a Pokemon to bench. Looks like he's going to go for that Rangaroo, but he is prize checking. I do believe it is faster if you do pull all the cards you want to check to the front and back of your deck. I'll always do that. I say it a lot in different matches. When I'm playing something like Reggie, all the Pokemon immediately go to the front. All the, like, Auroras, I immediately pull to the back. Those are usually the important things that you want to check. Same thing with Lugia. You want to check your Aurora counts. You want to check if your V-Guard energy is prized, if you have it. You want to make sure that you have the Lugia V-Stars. If you prized all your Lugia V-Stars, you might as well just scoop. You want to make sure that you have access to your Archeops so that you know that you can draw into it or not. He also does play the Capturing Aroma in this deck for some god-awful reason. Flip a coin if heads, search for an evolution Pokemon. If tails, search for a basic Pokemon. I don't like cards that are that inconsistent. I do prefer a card that does the same thing every time. Reminds me a lot of Timer Ball. Timer Ball could get 2 evolution Pokemon, it could get 1, it could get 0. You flip 2 coins and search for an evolution Pokemon for each heads. Again, something also along the lines of Cram-O-Matic, but at least in Mew, if you're playing Cram-O-Matic, you get to discard more cards in order to draw more cards. So there is some merit to playing that and that, but yeah, what if you really want your Lugia VSTAR or your Archeops and you flip tails on capturing Aroma? But I do suppose that it's nice as a 5th copy of Evo Incense, potentially. So if you're playing, like, 4 copies of Evo Incense already and you really just want a 5th copy, I suppose capturing Aroma is a good alternative. As you can see here, Moffat does the exact thing that I just talked about. He pulls all his basic energy to the back of the deck, all of his Pokemon to the front of the deck. He wants to make sure he knows exactly what energies he has access to. Lost Box isn't usually able to prize check before it starts lost zoning things. So if you do get that Battle VIP pass in your opening hand, before you do anything, before you do any flower selectings, any Chorus's experiment, you want to play that Battle VIP pass down just to make sure you know what energies are prized. That way, you know which ones you can afford to lost zone when you inevitably have to lost zone one. We are also going for the very standard Comfey Radiant Greninja start that is so common in Lost Box decks to get with that turn 1 Battle VIP pass. That is always what you want to see. You generally want 2 Comfey and the Radiant Greninja in rotation if you can, in order to dig for your Chorus's experiments and to get multiple cards in the Lost Zone. You can usually loop the 2 Comfeys with your Scoop Up Nets, so you're able to Lost Zone more than just 2 cards in a turn with just 2 Comfeys. The other Comfeys you can end up Lost Zoning for free, essentially. At least one of them. Sometimes you want the third, just in case one gets knocked out early. But I don't think that that's going to happen. If we can see a turn 1, 7 cards in the Lost Zone, that is essentially the god start for Lost Box. Then 10 by turn 2. I don't think you generally want to be using Sableye turn 2. It's usually more of a late game thing. We do see the Radiant Greninja does draw into another Comfey, so we will get that. We also have the Chorus's experiment as well, so that is amazing. We're going to be able to see the top 5 cards of the deck, choose 2 to keep. I think there's a Battle VIP pass in there, so if he wants that, he can keep it. Honestly, I don't think that you necessarily need it. In Lost Box, you really only need the 1 Battle VIP pass to get your double Comfey or the Comfey Greninja. And then any ones that you get after that are free. Because he's already drawn into another Comfey, and that's all the Pokemon he generally needs this turn 1. So you see he already Lost Zones the Battle VIP pass, so I do agree with that play, putting that Battle VIP pass in the Lost Zone, especially since he does have that Comfey in hand. We are also going to Lost Zone this Wash Water Energy. That's not a basic one, so you can't get it off the Mirage Gate, and also it's not super useful. He's not going to be using Ice Cube in this matchup since it's not a deck that utilizes exclusively basic Pokemon. And the Wash Water Energy is really only for the mirror when you put down... When you want to put down that Ice Cube and make sure it can't get knocked out by a Sableye. If you get Lone Ice Cube with Wash Water Energy, you just auto-win mirror. The only way out for that is if you're teching a Fan of Waves in order to remove that Wash Water Energy, and then you can Sableye it. But in every other matchup, the Fan of Waves is just really a dead card, so you don't really want to even play it. You just want to hope that your mirror match doesn't play the Ice Cube Wash Energy. Moffat did say Ice Cube was the most dead card in his deck over the course of the whole weekend, so it's highly likely that he faced a lot of mirror matches and just beat them anyway. So, looks like we did not get to the 4 in the Lost Zone. Just passes with the Comfey active. He does have 3 in play, so it is fine to leave the Comfey active and just let that be the thing that dies to the Lugia. We are going to see Evo Incense come in from Andrew here after a Marnie. So Moffat is going to be left with only 4 cards in hand, which you don't want to see when you're Lost Box. You generally tend to want to build up a very large hand and just sit on it. So Marnie and Judge are very disruptive to Lost Box. But again, he has 2 Comfey in rotation even after this one in the active gets knocked out and the Radiant Greninja. So this early in the game, the Marnie doesn't generally hurt that bad. It's more so in the late game. After you've built up a hand of like 15 to 20 cards, you're usually on the turns where you want to put down a Pokemon out of nowhere, like a Rayquaza or a Raikou, and immediately Mirage Gate to it. Those are the turns where you want to make sure you have your big hand still. So if you Marnie the Lost Box the turn before they do that, they just kind of fall apart. We do see the Lugia VSTAR does Summoning Star for only 1 Archeops. This is a huge opportunity for Moffat as well. If he can just remove the 1 Archeops from play and then go in with a Raikou and one-shot Lugia VSTAR, he just should be able to win the game in theory. We are also going to see potentially this Luminion come down for a supporter. He's already Marnied this turn. So I'm curious to see what he's getting. It looks like he's going to search for an Irida. Just to, I suppose, have a Luminion again next turn. Or maybe to search for a Manaphy, should he play that. It's also good to get Cancel and Clone if you are playing that. If you are in this type of matchup and you want to Raikou and take a couple prize cards to even up the prize trade a little more against Lost Box, you do want to have that Cancel and Cologne in hand. We are going to see another Colress's Experiment from Moffat, along with a Flower Selecting likely right after that. So that'll be another 3 cards in the Lost Zone, putting him at 6. As long as he has 1 switch card or even just an energy to retreat, he should be able to get to the 7 and start Mirage Gating, should he wish to do that. He could always potentially attack with the Radiant Greninja this turn. That would be a little fun. He could soften up the Lugia V-Star and the Archeops in order for a Sableye to come in and knock out the Archeops on the next turn. Looks like we're deciding what we want to take with the Flower Selecting here. Looks like there's maybe 3 Scoop Up Nets in hand for Moffat as well, so he could really get a lot in the Lost Zone this turn. He could really dig pretty far. Looks like he's deciding between a Lightning and something else. He did just Lost Zone a Lightning. Oh, the Manaphy. That is kind of scary. I think that you have to do the Manaphy here. He does play double Manaphy. It is important to note Moffat does play 2 Manaphy, which I do believe was a really great call for the weekend. A lot of the Lugia decks are playing Raikou. We see yet again the Manaphy. He's deciding whether he wants the Manaphy or the Zigzagoon. I would definitely get rid of the Zigzagoon here. I don't think the Zigzagoon provides anywhere near as much as the Manaphy does, even if it's your second Manaphy. Also important to note, since they did play in the last round of Swiss, they should also already know, for the most part, the contents of each other's deck more so than anybody else in the tournament, really. It is always possible that they played during day 1 as well. It's always fun to see when someone plays day 1, day 2 Swiss, and then in Top Cut. We do see the Raikou here getting searched out here, I think from a Quick Ball. And then we're going to Mirage Gate to it immediately. So we are going to get Metal Grass. We do need a Lightning as well. He's already Lost Zoned 2 Lightning. He has the 3rd in hand. So he does play the 3 Lightning. I think he only plays 2 Grass. 1 is in the discard and now 1 is on the Raikou. Some of the Lost Zone decks do play 3 Grass, but it is possible to just play the 2. Moffat is the type of player who likes to be a little more skinny on some of his card lines so that he can fit in more techs, and he's just more hyper aware of the counts in his deck, so he is able to utilize the smaller amounts of copies of cards to their maximum effectiveness. So we are going to see a Scoop Up Net. We're going to easily get rid of that Ice Cube. That thing is completely useless in this matchup. Going to rebench that Comfade that he just scooped up. He's going to retreat into the Raikou. This does not have a choice belt, so he's not going to be able to get a one-shot, but he is going to set up both the Archeops and the active. So if a Sableye does come down next turn, we are at 5, 6, 7, 8. We are at 9 in the Lost Zone. I know it says the count on the top of the screen, but I never take Pokemon's word for it. They're always off. They've been doing pretty good with the Lost Zone this tournament, though. If Sableye comes down this next turn, he can take 3 prize cards and make sure that the Archeops is just out of the game. So you can see how beautifully Moffat set up this whole turn. He weakened the attacker. It only has 40 HP remaining. He weakened the one and only Archeops. It only has 30 HP remaining. And then he can even start setting up the Luminion for another knockout after that. I think you would put 4 here, 3 here. So that's 7. So you still have 5 left. So then I would put 1 on Oranguru and 4 on Luminion, I suppose. Either that or just all 5 on Luminion. See, if you do 4, that's 130 left on it. So yeah, I think I would just put all 5 on Luminion and I wouldn't worry about the Oranguru. You would consider doing 1 to the Oranguru just so that it has 110 so that a Cramorant can knock it out, but you'd rather chase down the extra prize cards. The Oranguru is never going to attack. The Luminion could attack as well. Just force it into the position where you want it to attack. So Andrew, what he wants to do this turn is get another attacker in play and charge it up. Because he knows that Archeops is going down next turn, and you can't charge up the Archeops since it is going down. Looks like we do get an Aurora off Monkey Power. We have a Manaphy. That would have been great to have last turn. I think did he take that off his prize cards, or did he just draw into it this turn? I'm not sure. But yeah, if he did have access to it the last turn, that would have been perfect. The other thing is, now that the Manaphy is in play, that 5 damage counters that are left, instead of putting it on the Luminion, personally, I would put it on the Manaphy. Then if you still had access to the Zigzagoon, you're just a Scoop Up Net away to being able to take 4 prize cards in one turn, but again, it was perfect to Lost on the Zigzagoon because you want the Manaphy. For the exact reason Moffat just attacked with the Raikou. That's why you want Manaphy. Looks like we're going to charge up Oranguru with double powerful colorless energies. That is real sad. Oh, also looks like Moffat's camera died for... Oh, okay, it's back. Oh, it died again. We are going to attach for turn, getting the Aurora to discard the Archeops. Yeah, this is not looking good for Andrew. I don't think there's any way he wins this game. He is going to take an additional prize card. So this is the thing. Moffat does have a Psychic in discard and in the Lost Zone. So he just does draw the Sableye off of the Radiant Greninja, but he needs a way to recycle that Psychic energy and either draw into it or... Oh, it looks like we get Ordinary Rod here off of this Comfey. So we're going to see... Looks like Boss's Orders, maybe, or Raihan. Raihan is the other card. So yeah, definitely get rid of the Raihan. You can use Ordinary Rod, put the Psychic back in, and then if you have Mirage Gate... Oh, he has his own Raihan. He doesn't even need to do that. Yeah, I guess either way, since he already had the Raihan. Sometimes I forget that the Raihan just gets you an energy from discard. I always think of it as a card that just searches you a card. But yeah, that's perfect. You see Moffat do this exact play a lot. He'll put the Sableye down and he'll Raihan to it. So it's almost like he strategically puts that psychic energy in the discard pile for that exact play. He likely is doing that exact thing. He is also going to Ordinary Rod. He's probably going to put that... Yep, he's going to put the Raikou back in, along with the energy that it needs to attack, and also a Comfey for good measure in case he wants to dig deeper later in the game, in case he gets Rock Sand or something. Or more likely Marnied. He also does have the exact 10 in the Lost Zone because of that Comfey that he just used in the active spot, so he does have exactly enough that he needs in order to attack with Sableye. So again, just like... Yeah, Lost Zone is... Lost Boxes decks, they're a lot like playing chess. Is like, you definitely have to prepare turns in advance. You have to meticulously plan every action that you do. And yeah, again, I love how he puts these dice out. Yeah, so he has 4 remaining. He is choosing to put the 1 on the Oranguru so that it could be knocked out by the Cramorant. Again, I think that that wouldn't have been the play if the Oranguru didn't get charged up as the next attacker. Yep, so those 2 are knocked out. Moffat takes 3 prize cards, going down to 2 remaining? 3 remaining. Those were his first prize cards of the game. Yep, and now Andrew's only attacker for the rest of the game is this Oranguru. What he's going to probably want to do is bench a Lugia and just start hard attaching to it, so that he has something that has a lot of HP as an additional attacker. He has a double turbo, so he can just Ultra Ball for the Lugia, attach the double turbo, and then he's 1 double turbo or 2 more attaches away from being able to attack with it. Oh, he can also potentially attack with Charizard in the somewhat near future as well. It's really tough, the whole position that he's in. It's like, what do you do at this point? And the only reason Andrew's really in a bad spot right now is the fact that only 1 Archeops came down. And Moffat was very much able to capitalize on that. Only 1 Archeops came down and no Manaphy. So that gave Moffat all the tools he needed in order to just absolutely pick that board apart. Yeah, so we do see Ultra Ball for the Radiant Charizard. We're going to attach Double Turbo to Luminion. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad, because the Luminion can attack, and then you're taking that 40 damage out of play. And then the Charizard should, at some point, be able to attack for 1 Aurora or Heat Fire energy. So it goes into Moffat's turn. He is going to go ahead on the prize trade this turn. Prize was taken with the Oranguru, but again, Moffat's 1 ahead now. He's going to be able to knock out the Oranguru with the Cramorant, even. Fun fact, that Oranguru is doing 110. So that is enough to knock out a Cramorant. Why is there a judge call? I hate when they do that. What's Moffat getting in trouble for this time?
It's actually going to be pace of play for both players.
Oh.
Just a warning here.
Oh, pace of play. Why is there a pace of play warning? Neither of them are playing slow. And they even have additional time in Top Cut here. So it wasn't just Moffat who was warned, it was both players. And I still really don't see a pace of play issue. Alright, so Moffat just retreats into the Cramorant, takes a knockout after benching a Rayquaza with a Grass Energy. So that Rayquaza can potentially next turn just be able to take a knockout on anything that Andrew has. Looks like he does draw the Aurora Energy, so he is able to attack this turn. He's going to have to discard something. The problem is that both of these attackers that he has in play do need the Aurora Energy in order to attack. So now he's down one more Aurora Energy that he wants to attach to the Luminion. And also, if he does attack with the Luminion, he's going to have to put up the Manaphy, and it's just going to die, and Moffat's going to win the game because he'll be at 1 prize after this Charizard goes down anyway. Do see the Marnie limiting Moffat's hand. But again, I think he's just so far ahead at this point because there's no Archeops in play that I don't think that Andrew has anything that he can really even do. He does take another prize with the Charizard. I mean, I suppose Moffat could just whiff being able to attack with anything this turn. Yeah, we are going to see the Lost Zoning of the Raikou. That's probably the one he shuffled back into his deck. I think he only plays one. We're going to see the Heavy Ball just to burn it. I think those two cards went back in the same order they were in too, which is always funny. Gotta keep Lost Zoning those Battle VIP passes that you don't need anymore. That Lost Zone is at 16 right now. Discards the Lightning in order to draw 2 with the Greninja. Again, that's the only Lightning that's left. We are going to see the Energy Recycler, though. So we are going to do, looks like one of every color energy. No, he's going to, instead of the metal, go for double fighting. I think that that's correct. The Rayquaza doesn't need the metal. The metal is needed for the Raikou, which you did Lost Zone. So he puts those back in, immediately Mirage Gates the Fighting Lightning down, which is now the full energy cost that the Rayquaza needs in order to attack. So we are possibly going to see a knockout on this Charizard this turn. Oh, I think Moffat dropped a card. Yeah, one of my opponents in Florida actually dropped like half their deck on the floor. I helped them pick it up. It just happens sometimes. Especially when you're on this stage here. Like, you're gonna get nervous when you're in top 4. Like, every match from here on out is like a super big money match. Because they really make the prizes so top heavy in these tournaments now. So yeah, takes the knockout with the Rayquaza. Not really the one that you want to be attacking with at this stage in the game here, but especially since you had to use Energy Recycler in order to attack with it. Now, Andrew has a choice. He can attack and knock out the Rayquaza, or he can not do that and hope Moffat decks out. Those are his only 2 options. Yeah, I don't know if I would even attack with Luminion. I mean, yeah, it's fine to bench this one. Maybe, I don't know. You don't want a Marnie. The thing with the most retreat cost is already active. How many... So, if I were Andrew right now, I would be checking Moffat's Ordinary Rods, Energy Recyclers, Energy Count. We know that there's 3 that he was put back in the deck, I believe, right? Because there were 5 put back in. Heads, so he's gonna get an evolution Pokemon. Moffat has to read it. He's like, what the frick does this do? I don't think he even saw it in their last match. He's just playing to burn it. Yeah, I'm not sure. So it's weird. Andrew doesn't really have a win condition, but also Moffat has to dig for it. Looks like he has 2 Mirage Gates left. That was the other thing that I was saying that I was going to be saying that he needs to check for. Andrew needs to check for in Moffat's discard and lost zone. How many of those have been used? If Moffat is able to play maybe another Ordinary Rod, I think he could attack with Rayquaza this turn and win the game. There's the Ordinary Rod. He did have to discard a Grass, which I think is part of the requirement for Rayquaza. He does have a second Fighting Energy in deck, I believe, so as long as he puts the Grass Lightning back, he'll be 1 Fighting Energy, or he should be 1 energy attachment away from being able to attack. Oh, he's got the 2 Mirage Gates, yeah. So he's able to fully power that up because he was able to get the Ordinary Rod, and Moffat does end up winning game 1. So yeah, again, the whole fact that Manaphy didn't come down on Andrew's side, and he only got 1 Archeops out, Moffat was just able to absolutely blow him up. So yeah, that was that game. So we're going to see the next game. Looks like Moffat's prizing a lot of energy this game. We're going to see if it lets me show this. Yeah, 2 fighting and psychic. So Moffat's not going to have access to fighting energies, which means he can't attack with a Rayquaza this game. And the judge, again, is coming over for no reason, probably to talk about pace of play.
See for ourselves, but that is going to be quite the opening search here for Nick.
Andrew's going to start things off with a quick ball. Discarding
Yeah, I don't even hear them saying anything important. If that's a head judge, he's a really bad head judge. I remember one time there was it was a Virginia Regionals. I looked at my board and I'm like, yeah, I can't win. I scooped up all my cards and started shuffling for game 2. And then Will Post came over and gave me a slow play warning. And then my opponent was like, really? He wasn't slow playing. He just scooped to save game time. And then Will Post the next round gave one of my friends a slow play warning. And then he complained to the head judge about it. And then they demoted Will Post to side events. That was like, God, how long ago was that? That was 2018? Was that 28? That might have been 27. No, it had to be 2018. So anyway, Andrew goes first because he lost that game. He does start the Raikou, which is actually pretty good, but that gives Moffat time to bench the Manaphy's. We see a Heat Fire attached to the Lugia on the bench after a Quick Ball. The Quick Ball does get rid of an Archeops, so we're going to have at least 1 Archeops in there. Hopefully we get a second one so that we see a little bit more of a game this time. Big decision for Moffat. Does he lost zone the Scoop Up Net or the Scoop Up Net? We are going to see Chorus's Experiment as well here. Ooh. Is that 3 grass energy in his hand, or is that... That's at least 2. Yeah, that's 2 grass energy. So he's going to choose to lost zone 1 and keep the other. I think that is correct, but Moffat hasn't been able to search his deck yet, so he doesn't know that his 2 fighting energies are prized. He also does have 1 other prized energy. What was it? Psychic? Psychic. Oh, wait, no, he has 4 energy prized. Yeah, his top 4 prizes are all energy. Metal, fighting, psychic. That's awful. Yeah, Moffat could lose this game just off of the prize cards that he prized so many energies. Because now he's going to have to use Ordinary Rod and Energy Recyclers earlier than intended. is able to use the Wash Water energy more effectively as a way to discard for Radiant Greninja's concealed cards. I do believe that that's a good use for it. You either want to Lost Zone it or use it for Greninja, because you don't want to be attaching that in this matchup. You're not using the Ice Cube. All it is for Ice Cube in the mirror. Andrew's hand is pretty dead. He just has, it looks like maybe a couple of Aurora energies and a Stoutland. He's thinking about playing the Marnie. I 100% agree with a Marnie. I would just do that. He also has a Research, but I wouldn't want to be researching that hand. That's 2 Aurora energies that you don't have access to if you do that. You have to take the risk and Marnie and just hope that you get the other Archeops off of it. You already have the... Or you could do this too. You can discard the Research by attaching the Aurora and then play Marnie. That's fine too. Moffat did get the Manaphy into play though, so if you're attacking with a Raikou this turn, it's not... You're not getting the full value off of it. Ooh, I think we don't see another Archeops here. It might be a game where Andrew has to decide to go for the one Archeops yet again. I don't think he can afford to not go for Archeops right now. Yeah, just gets the one Archeops out again. I think he 100% has to do it. So we are going to see double Aurora most likely come down onto this Raikou so that it can just knock out the Comfey. Now, normally this wouldn't be the best attack, especially since the Manaphy is on the bench. You're not going to be able to, say, knock out the Cramorant at the same time and go up 2 prize cards. However, that is the only Comfey in play from Moffat. So the most likely thing he's going to promote is probably the Cramorant or the Radiant Greninja if he has another Scoop Up net. But he's not going to be able to get too many cards in the Lost Zone. He does have the Chorus's Experiment. It looks like he was able to get off the Marnie. So his hand isn't as bad as it could have been. But yeah, it looks like he does promote the Cramorant. We do get a double Battle VIP pass in the Lost Zone. That is perfect for Moffat as well. Don't really have to think when you have 2 Battle VIP pass in your chorus. We are going to see Radiant Greninja is going to discard maybe the Lightning. He's still deciding on whether he wants to do this first. No, yeah, go for the deck search first. You can thin a Pokemon from your deck. Please check your energy, Moffat. I need you to check your energy. This is his first deck search of the game. He has extra time in order to do that. There, he's pulling all the Pokemon front, putting all the energies in back. He's definitely gonna know. he looks, he sees there's 4 energy in there. He's like, oh shit. Oh no. Yeah, he sees it. Yeah, and he's writing it down in his notebook. So again, this is a great way to take notes. He's able to easily see which energies are prized. And what Pokemon. Yeah, the Comfey is the only prized Pokemon for him, but that's a lot of energy. Also, the Ordinary Rod is in there as well. That's awful. I'm not sure if he really checks his trainer counts. He must be checking for the Ordinary Rods and the Energy Recycler, if he knows how many energies he even has left. Yeah, this is a very awful prize situation for Moffat, and I won't be surprised if he loses just off his prize cards. Because again, this would be a perfect situation to be able to snipe out that Archeops yet again. But I don't think he's going to get that opportunity. Because let's say, world's best situation here. He could use his own Raikou, knock out this Raikou, and put 120 on the Archeops. And then on the next turn, recycle the Raikou with Ordinary Rod, and then put a choice belt on it and then knock out Lugia and Archeops at the same time. That would be ideal. Although I haven't seen choice belt from Moffat. I don't think he's really playing it. And we already see the ordinary rod come down from Moffat. Again, not ideal, but he kind of has to do it since he has so few energy to work with this game. Yeah, he's really thinking, because it's not... The plays are not as easy for him to make at this point. He does get the ordinary rod. And the way people normally take prizes is the Comfey is going to be the next prize, and then all 4 of the remaining energy are going to be his last 4 prize cards. Even if he was able to take just like 1 fighting early, that would be amazing, but I don't think it's happening. We do see Evo Incense here from Andrew, who's going to get that Archeops a turn too late. Yeah, so now Andrew's really going to want Manaphy in play. That would be the ideal thing to look for right now, because then you can really capitalize on Moffat's lack of energy and make sure that if Raikou ever comes into play, it's not going to be able to threaten that 1 Archeops that you have, and the 1 Archeops should be able to get you far enough. We are going to see the Marnie yet again, continuously disrupting Moffat's game plans. It's really hard for Moffat to continually rebuild up a hand, especially when he doesn't really have access to anything in his deck right now. He only has 1 Comfey in play. Along with the Radiant Greninja, you would really like to see 2 Comfey. He's already used 2 Chorus's Experiment. What's the likelihood he's going to redraw into another one? You also saw that I believe there was a Raihan in his previous hand, so that's on the bottom of the deck now. So we are going to see Lugia come down with a Capture Energy. I think that's great. Lugia has a lot of HP. It's going to be harder for the Lost Box to knock it out, especially, again, with the energy count. You saw Moffat look through his deck and immediately Ordinary Rod, so you must know that he has low energy counts in his deck right now. We are going to see the 1 Archeops charge up the V-Guard and double turbo onto the Lugia. I think that is the perfect combination of energy. The V-Guard doesn't really do anything in this matchup, so might as well use it early so that you have access to the better energies later in the game. And the double turbo as well. You already attach Return to the bench, and you don't really care about the -20 because everything in Moffat's deck is just so tiny. We see concealed cards. He's going to discard a Psychic Energy, so again, that's another energy that he doesn't have access to. Another thing important to note about the fact that he prized so many energy is that's a lot less use that he can get out of the Radiant Greninja as well. So we're up to 8 in the Lost Zone for Moffat. He can use Mirage Gate, but there's just no energy to put on his dudes. He has like 2 or 3 in hand. So he can take maybe 1 knockout with Raikou this game, but when that second Lugia comes up, it can get fully charged off yet another 1 Primal Turbo. And then what's Moffat gonna do? So it looks like he's checking his prize cards yet again. Maybe he didn't really check the Pokemon enough, but there is just 1 Comfey in there and the rest is energy. He's also gotten rid of all his Battle VIP passes so far, so if we see any more Marnies come out of Andrew, we're not going to be redrawing into any. There's 3 in the Lost Zone all in a row, and then 1 that he just quick balled away. So he just happened to see all of these in quick succession. And that 1 Comfey being in the prizes is also a reason why he's only been able to really get 1 Comfey into play at a time here now. It reduces the consistency of him seeing into it, but looks like he does get the 3rd Chorus's Experiment. We're going to see more useless Mirage Gates. We see an Energy Recycler as well. I think you really have to keep that. Oh, and an Ordinary Rod? Ooh, this is a really tough decision because it's Raihan, Ordinary Rod, Energy Recycler, Mirage Gate. I would get rid of Mirage Gate. You already have 2 in hand. Looks like Ordinary Rod. So he's now down to 0 Ordinary Rod, because I believe he only plays 2 Ordinary Rod, 1 Energy Recycler. So that Rayquaza is just not going to be very good in this matchup at all. I didn't really take a good enough look at Moffat's list from this tournament, but I do believe he's playing no belts and just the 2-1 split of the energy recoveries. And the 1 Ice Cube that he said was useless. So we do see Escape Rope is going to bring up that Manaphy. There's no Raikou in play for Moffat, so I think putting up the Manaphy as bait to die is perfectly fine. Yeah, Lost Zone the Heavy Ball. You already have 2 Comfey in play, and the only Pokemon in your prize cards is Comfey, so Heavy Ball doesn't really have much of a use. Unless you wanted to... I guess it would shuffle his prize cards so that it would put 1 energy closer to him, potentially. It would be a 1 in 5 chance that the Comfey would still be the one closest to him. Looks like we are going to use Mirage Gate. We are going to put 1 energy on the Sableye. We're probably going to leave that Manaphy active, and we're just going to start sniping bench so that we can hopefully take a knockout next turn. Maybe on the Archeops. I don't know if that's even worth it at this point, because you're going to have to make your way through 2 Lugia VSTARs. But yes, either way, Sableye is his best attacker in this situation right now. Is forced to hard retreat, so that is yet another energy down for Moffat into his discard pile. Yep, we are going to see the knockout on the Manaphy and the rest onto the Archeops. So at some point, if another Sableye comes through, we are going to be able to finish off the Archeops and get rid of it. And then the last 2 on the Lugia. So let's see, that's 120 left on the Archeops. I think I would have put just 1 more on the Archeops, just so a Cramorant could knock it out, I guess. I don't think the 2 on the Lugia really matters. I mean, I don't think it matters either way, but you need an attacker that's not energy reliant at this point. So we are going to Ultra Ball for the V-Star. So yeah, Moffat's going to have to get through 2 of these. Well, actually, let me think. 260. Yeah, no, I don't think that math matters for Rayquaza's damage output. Because you go 240 with 3 energy, and then you go 320 for 4. So yeah, it doesn't matter. The 2 on it doesn't matter. Stoutland comes down as well, so now Andrew might just start powering that up instead of a Lugia. Pretty rude, honestly. But 100% the correct play. You can prize chase real easy, and there is nothing threatening you, because you already saw 1 Mirage Gate just to get a Sableye going. 4. Yeah, I would just put double powerful on the Stoutland. You know, double powerful on the Stoutland, and I would just hard retreat into it and just take out the Sableye, take 2 prize cards. Although I do suppose if Moffat goes and knocks out the Archeops on the next turn, that would be a bad play. He does have another one in hand as well, so that's good. So that's perfectly fine. I think this turn, you're fine to keep attack. Yeah. It's a little weird. I don't think Moffat is going to be able to attack with a Rayquaza this turn, but if he can, he just needs 3 energy, so all he needs is Energy Recycler attached for turn. He has the Lightning in hand. Does he have the other ones in deck, though? He needs Grass, Fighting. And he prized double Fighting. Yeah, doesn't he need Fighting for this thing? Yeah, Moffat's got to know his prize cards at this point. He saw he only had 4 energy in his deck on his first deck search. Yeah, he's noticing he doesn't have any fighting whatsoever, so he's just gonna scoop. Yeah, so that's about how that game goes when you prize 4 energies as Lost Box. So yeah, even if Moffat didn't scoop there, Andrew was probably just winning on the next turn anyway. So he scooped as early as he can. Moffat's probably just like, yeah, I just prized 4 energy. What am I gonna do? Looks like he's only prizing 1 energy this time, though. I see a fighting energy in the same top card spot. Can we load, please? Please, please. There we go. Oh, no, it's lightning. We have 1 lightning prized, which is fine because he plays 3 copies of it. And we also see Wash Water Energy prize, but again, this card is dead in this matchup, so that's fine to be prized. Cramorant, a Chorus, I guess, could matter. And then on this side, we don't see anything too super relevant. I guess the Luminion could matter, but we'll have to see. If he can only get 1 Archeops into play for a 3rd game in a row, that double turbo will matter. And they have a little over 25 minutes left for a full game 3, so that should be plenty of time. I doubt they'll go into time. Moffat is going to be thoroughly checking his prize cards again. He's going to be very happy to see that he's only prized 1 basic energy. He does start the Rayquaza, which is a little unideal, but at least he has the Comfey on the bench now. So hopefully he's able to move this Rayquaza with a Scoop Up Net or some sort of switching card. Yeah, that's a lot more than 4 energy. Imagine prizing almost half your energy in 1 game. Couldn't be me. Is today Super Bowl day? I'm recording this on Sunday the 12th. Is today Super Bowl day? I legitimately don't know. I don't care about sports ball. I care about Pokemans. Pokemans is my sport, my e-sport. So the quick ball for the Ordinary Rod again, or discarding the Ordinary Rod again, is a kind of a big deal. Moffat knows whether or not he can spare that, but again, it's not ideal to discard your energy recovery card so early. We are going to loss on the lightning energy. That is fine in this game. You did prize 1, but you still have access to the other. And it just passes. Since Moffat did go first this game, he's not worried about being knocked out going into this turn, so he's going to get at least 1 more use out of this Comfey, which is great. We are going to see the Evo Incense is going to search up an Archeops. Put that in his hand. Hopefully he'll be able to discard more than just 1 this game. There is another Ultra Ball in his hand, so he could search out Archeops with this Ultra Ball. So yeah, he's going to discard the first one and a Luminion, He's going to search his deck, probably going to get another Archeops, and then Ultra Ball that one away. Skip grabs that, plays Ultra Ball, is going to discard the Aurora energy. Again, not ideal, but probably fine. You're still going to have 3 Auroras, and I think he plays Heat Fire as well. So that'll be enough to power up Charizard and Yveltal. Well, Charizard or Yveltal, at least. Gets the Oranguru this time with that Ultra Ball. He will be able to use Monkey Wisdom to monkify the top card of his deck, and he's going to research. So he is able to conserve that one card that he put to the top of his deck, thankfully. He's going to get down a second Lugia. Does have the Echoing Horn in hand, which is a fun card. I don't think Moffat is playing any 2-prizers in this list. I know he was at the previous regional to this. I think he was playing multiple 2-prizers, but I don't think he was playing any 2-prizers in this list. I definitely haven't seen any this match. So we do see the Colress's Experiment on the first turn that Moffat is able to play a supporter card. Does have a Grass energy in there. He might be okay with Lost Zoning that. He has a Manaphy, which might be fine just because he plays 2. He has access to both this game. I think I would rather get rid of the Quick Ball over the Manaphy, though. Just in case. You did see one Aurora. I think that's what he's checking. He saw that the Aurora got discarded, so he's thinking, maybe I can afford to Lost Zone a Manaphy? Yeah, that's exactly his thought process. Yeah, he's going to go Grass Manaphy. He's really thinking about it, though, because he doesn't want to do it. I think he really needs those other cards, though. I'm not sure about the Quick Ball, but that can definitely get him into Radiant Greninja. Yeah, oh, that's another rough one. He could really use another Comfey, but again, that's an energy recycler. You can't really Lost Zone that. Otherwise, Rayquaza just can't do anything. Yeah. Yeah, very unfortunate. So this is, again, how Lost Box works, is it just lives or dies by the top decks of the Lost Zone. And apparently by the prize cards, too, if you just prize all your energy. So we're going to Quick Ball. We have plenty of cards in hand. Maybe he can spare one of them. He is going to get rid of the Switch cart. Probably going to get the Radiant Greninja or another Comfey. Yeah, it gets a Comfey. It's really rough that he had to Lost Zone a Comfey, but then Quick Ball for a Comfey. He's going to scoop up net, go into that. Another weird decision. Going to get rid of the Switch cart. He already discarded one this turn, now he has to Lost Zone another one. And you can just see how very complicated these decisions are, and you have to make them so quickly as well. So we're going to see a retreat back into Comfey, going to Flower Selecting. We have yet another Comfey. So he's probably going to he's going to Lost Zone the Psychic Energy. Again, I think that's fine because he does have access to 2. I don't see any switching cards, so yeah, he just has to pass here. So that is going to afford him to allow this Comfey in the active to die, and then he'll still have 2 Comfeys next turn. So we are going to see the Summoning Star get out actually 2 Archeops this game. Moffat is not pleased. He emotes just like Bradner, where he just holds his head when he's not happy. You got to get poker faces, people. You got to get more poker faces. I mean, I don't really have one, but that's why I'm not in top cut. I went 4/4 drop. Alright, so we are seeing Primal Turbo, or we are seeing the Quick Ball, but I think he's going straight into the Primal Turbo here. Yeah, so he uses Primal Turbo, gets 2 energies. He's also going to play Irida, so he'll get Manaphy and a item card. Which item card is he going for? Looks like Evo Incense, which he's just going to play to get another Lugia VSTAR. Bench the Manaphy. He's going to search for another 2 energy with the next Archeops. He's going to just go for the Wash Water energy on the Manaphy to protect it from Moffat's Sableye in the future. So this is what we saw in Swiss. This is what Andrew was able to do during their entire match in Swiss, is every time he put a Manaphy down, he searched for a Wash Water energy and immediately attached it. We haven't been able to see that this match so far because Andrew's just been bricking like a god. Well, not like a god, like a peasant, I guess. I don't know. He's been bricking hard, like a rock. There you go. Ignore my bad puns. So Moffat does Lost Zone a Battle VIP pass. Again, perfect to Lost Zone those Battle VIP passes since it's not turn 1. We also see Raihan going down, bringing a Fighting Energy back onto the Rayquaza so that Moffat can search his deck for any 1 card. Looks like he's searching to make sure he has the right energies in order to attack with the Rayquaza this turn. He did also conserve that Energy Recycler so that hopefully he can do this exact same play the next turn, but he's going to want 4... Yeah, it looks like he searches for the Mirage Gate, plays it, gets 4 energy total onto the Rayquaza, the 3 that it needs, plus an additional color. That way he can one-shot the Lugia V-Star, and then hopefully next turn he will be able to probably use Energy Recycler and or Ordinary Rod and do the exact same play again. Puts Air Balloon on the Comfey so it has free retreat and just blows that thing to smithereens. So yeah, so now Andrew's deciding what he wants to promote. It is a very odd decision. I would say that if it was something like Sableye that was active for Moffat, I wouldn't be opposed to Oranguru as the attacker. However, yeah, Archeops is pretty decent here. It does have 150 HP, so Moffat can't knock it out with something like a Cramorant. It's got too much HP. Can't be knocked out by a Sableye in one shot either. So again, this is just super unfavored for Moffat right now. And this is why I don't believe that the Rayquaza version of Lost Box is the best. I do believe it's Kyogre. Kyogre can just late game knock out two prizers in one attack, as long as you play it right and don't have to Lost Zone the wrong cards. Plus, you only have to play 2 colors of energy. You play a bunch of water and Psychic. Meanwhile, Rayquaza is a lot more aggressive earlier in the game, but it's just a lot harder to piece together. Plus, you don't have the Dragonite to fall back on, or the Sky Seal Stone. So he's going to Echoing Horn a Comfey. That's probably fine, just to get the card out of the hand. He's already got 2 Comfeys on the board here for Moffat, so making it so that there's 1 less bench spot for something like an attacker is perfectly fine. I honestly don't think it's going to really affect play either way. Now the Archeops is going to go do its thing, search the deck for some energies. We are going to go, it looks like Heat Fire. So it looks like we're not going to be using Evital this game, which is, again, perfectly fine. It's too much of a energy investment to Okay, so he's just doing the heat fire so he can retreat the Archeops, and he's going to be attacking with the Luminion this turn. Again, perfectly fine because that Luminion does do 120. That is exactly enough to knock out the Rayquaza. And then Andrew can potentially just promote the Oranguru, which again cannot be knocked out in one hit by a Cramorant. And you don't mind necessarily if the Oranguru gets knocked out. Meanwhile, if you were to attack with the Archeops this turn and Moffat does piece together a way to knock out the Archeops, you do lose quite a bit of power. So yeah, shuffles that back in, conserves the energy so that it can be recharged to something else on the next turn. Probably going to be promoting Oranguru, and yes, he does. Takes V-Guard energy. Again, not very good in this matchup, but at least it's an energy card, I suppose. We see yet another Colress's Experiment from Moffat. Keeps getting Martied into the Colress's Experiments. I wish I could draw like that. Checking Andrew's discard pile, see what's been used, so he can make a more educated decision on what he's doing this turn with his Chorus. What card is he going to Lost Zone? It looks like there's a Fighting Energy in there. He is going to go with another Chorus and a Manaphy. He already has the one Manaphy in play, so that's definitely perfectly fine. We are using the Radiant Greninja, discarding a Metal Energy. It looks like we are getting a Heavy Ball and something else. We are going to use the Heavy Ball, check our prize cards. Moffat is going to be able to finish checking his prize cards because he probably didn't know all 6, or at least the 4 remaining here. So now he definitely knows. I'm not sure if he was able to get anything off of that or not, but at least he got information. Yeah, he didn't get anything off of that. Moves the Wash Water energy up. I don't think that's really going to matter. Do have the Cramorant. Something that Moffat can do is actually attack with the Cramorant, do 110, and then Andrew has to find a way to move this Oranguru. He does not play Scoop Up Net or Air Balloon. So he's either going to have to commit a bunch of powerful colorless energies to use the Oranguru to one-shot the Cramorant, or he's going to have to commit something like a double turbo to move it. It was still the correct play to put the Oranguru up, but it doesn't feel good having to move it. It'd be really nice if Andrew played something like an escape rope. He would be able to just move back into the Lugia and do Lugia things. Looks like he's considering playing the Serena, likely to draw more cards. He's going to play the Capturing Aroma. Heads, so that's an evolution Pokemon. Probably going to search for an Archeops that will discard with the Serena. So flipping heads for the Capturing Aroma is better than flipping the tails in this scenario because you're more likely to want to just get rid of Archeopsis from your deck than you are to get rid of basic Pokemon from your deck. Otherwise, he would have to pick something like Pumpkaboo to discard. He could also attach first so that he can draw more cards. Looks like he's not going to do that. He's going to Serena, discard 2 to draw 2. Doesn't really get anything super useful. He gets a powerful colorless energy. 7, 8, 9, 10. So he needs 2 powerful colorless energies on the Oranguru in order to knock out the Cramorant. So he could go that route. I'm not sure if that's ideal, but I mean, it gets him there. I'm not sure what he's even thinking about doing right now. I think I would just go for the Archeops to just look at my deck, and then I would decide. So he's going to Quick Ball. He's going to get the Luminion. Yeah, he might be searching for something like a Marnie to play on Moffat yet again. but he's already played his supporter for turn in the Serena. I would just hold the Luminion maybe for next turn. You know at this point Moffat is not playing anything like Path to the Peak. Alright, he is just going to play it now. I mean, Moffat also doesn't play any hand disruption, so I guess playing it now isn't that bad either. So yeah, use your Archeops, get a powerful colorless energy and something else onto your active, attach for turn to the active with the powerful colorless energy, and then take that Cramorant knockout. Or not, you can just put powerful colorless energy on your Luminion instead, so it cannot do more damage. They only have 6.5 minutes left, so it is getting down to the wire here. You'd think that they would have had enough time, but this matchup ended up being very intricate. So he's going to use the second Archeops. He is going to get double capture energy. And then attaches powerful for turn to the Luminion. Hard retreats into the Luminion. I think what you do now is if you do this, you promote the Archeops this time. You don't want to promote the Oranguru again. Again, I think it would be just as much of an like, yes, you commit the powerful colorless energies in order to attack with the Oranguru for the knockout. And see, he just re-promotes the Oranguru anyway. So I'm not sure what the whole point of doing the whole Luminion thing was when he could have just attacked with the Oranguru and been in the exact same position. He could have held the Quick Ball for the Luminion. And yeah, you're down the powerful colorless energy. I guess he's trying to conserve those powerful colorless energies so that he can use Stoutland later in the game. I guess that's the reasoning for why he did the play exactly like this. But even if you commit 2 powerful colorless energies to the Oranguru, you should still have another 2 left. I don't think he's used any. I could be completely wrong. He could have used other ones earlier. So I see why he did it that way. So I guess that is more correct. But it just feels bad having to waste 2 energy like that. But I guess also you're wasting 2 energy retreating than you would be 3 energy attacking. So yeah, attacking with the Luminion was better. And then he re-puts up the Oranguru. Which I guess, yeah, is fine. It allows Moffat to take a knockout with Cramorant, but it's also already damaged. See, it's weird. There's multiple different ways that Andrew could have played that turn, and they would have all felt fine. But I do believe that the way he did it is probably the best way. Yep, just another Battle VIP pass getting out of there. Yeah, we're going to see if Moffat can piece something together. He's going to have to do something like a Boss's Orders, which I don't know if he plays, in order to just take a knockout on the Lugia with the Rayquaza there. We are digging deeper with the Greninja. We do have quite a bit of options in hand. And actually that Echoing Horn, putting that Comfey into play, does make it a little more awkward. Because now he had that new Rayquaza benched, but now he doesn't have the ability to put down the Raikou. I guess now he has the Scoop Up Net, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so he is going to finish it off with the Zigzagoon, so that's perfect. So that's going to force something active for Andrew. So Moffat is able to take 2 prize cards this turn. Looks like it is going to be the Manaphy. If he takes that out this turn, and then Moffat is able to charge up the Raikou on the next turn, that could end up being a good way for this to go. The thing is Andrew going to be able at some point to get the Stoutland going? I think that's how this matchup is going to end. If Andrew gets the Stoutland and is able to take 2 prize cards at once, I think he wins. If he doesn't do that, I think Moffat can win. But also Moffat can just whiff. Looks like he's going for the Ordinary Rod now. I think that's right. He's got to get that Rayquaza attacking now. It's very unfortunate that he has to attack with the Rayquaza. Would have been a lot better to use Cramorant right here. But then if he had benched Cramorant, then Archeops would have come up instead of Manaphy, right? So I guess he's in the same position either way. So yeah, he's going to get the 3 energy that he needs in order to fulfill Rayquaza's attack cost. And then Rayquaza's going to blow up this Manaphy to his smithereens. Then likely, I guess either Lugia or Archeops can come out, but I don't think it really matters. Probably Archeops just because it's a 1-prize attacker. You could force Moffett to go a little bit further. See, they were calling slow play earlier when there wasn't slow play. Like, if you're going to call slow play, you would call it here. I still don't consider this slow play. I don't think you're quite there yet, but I think you're real close. Alright, Moffett does attach a Wash Water energy to the Comfey just so that that has a way to retreat. That is also a thing. The Wash Water energy is good in the mirror so that you could put it on your own Manaphy. So yeah, Rayquaza does take the knockout on the Manaphy, does a little bit of overkill there. Moffett's going to also check the discard of Andrew. Moffett's going to take his 1-prize card. Moffett is ahead 1, but needs to take 2 more in order to win the game. So he's going to have to knock out that Lugia. And again, I don't think he really has any gusting effects. So he's going to have to go through whatever Andrew puts up. So Archeops is promoted. He is going to use Archeops' ability. He does have the Stoutland in there. He is checking. Oh no, he's quick balling. I think he quick balled. Because that is at the top of the discard pile. And that's why he's pulling Stoutland up. I think you go for it if you can. I don't know if you can take the knockout as easily on the Rayquaza right now. And you definitely want to hide the Stoutland for as long as you can. He's eyeing up the Lugia now. Yeah, this is definitely slow play territory. Yeah, they should be calling time now. They should have enough turns to actually finish the game. But either way, it would be whoever's up on prize cards, because this is single elimination. I do believe that that's how it should work in Swiss, but they don't do that. Alright, looks like we're going to Ultra Ball again. He does have a Research in hand, so he is likely going to Ultra Ball for the Stoutland now, or he can just sit there and not make a decision. Since it was a slow play warning for both players, if he gets another slow play warning, it could be a potential prize card penalty. So Andrew really does want to speed this up a bit, in my opinion. Because that'll lose him the match if he doesn't make decisions fast enough. And then Research. Alright, draw 7 cards, see what you get. Does get yet another powerful colorless energy. 4, 6, 8. He's going to attach to the active with the second Archeops ability. I think you still have 1 energy left in deck. I think what you do is attach to the active? Yeah, this is really rough. You want to keep that powerful colorless energy for the Stoutland, and that's exactly what he was playing into by attacking with the Luminion earlier, but unfortunately that's the only energy he drew into because he used an Archeops before he played the Research. I think he could have waited on that 1 Archeops, have a higher chance to redraw into energy, but then again, you also want to only draw 1 so that then your Archeops in the future can... It's just such a weird situation. Yeah, so knock that out with the Archeops. That's perfectly fine. So now you're threatening game with the Stoutland while having the Archeops active. So the only way Moffett can win is Boss or Serena onto Stoutland and then attacking with Rayquaza again. So that's asking Moffat for a ton, especially since I don't really think he plays much gusting effects, if any at all. So we are seeing the quick ball for the Rayquaza. That's one of the pieces he needs in order to win the game. I can cut the tension here with a knife. So this should be turn 1 of time as well. It's also possible, since Andrew only has 1 energy left in deck, if he promotes Stoutland after the Archeops goes down, if Moffat attacks with something like Rayquaza that's big enough, Stoutland won't have the energy to attack for the rest of the game, and then Moffat can win by being 1 prize card ahead due to the time rules. Yeah, because Andrew will only have 1 remaining turn. Yeah, so let's see. This is a little weird how this is going to work. There's a lot of money on the line, so you can tell that both players are really overthinking this. But yeah, what I think has to happen is I think you have to attack with the Raikou this turn, or the Rayquaza. I think the Raikou is better because it will have the energy to attack the next turn as well. That way Moffat can win on prize cards. Or the... Oh, he's going Sableye? That's it too, so he could just hope that Andrew isn't able to retreat. He did count the energy that was in the discard pile. He could hope that his last energies are in the last 2 prize cards. But unfortunately, by promoting the Sableye, we know that Andrew has 1 energy card left in deck, so he is able to just Primal Turbo to his active Archeops. Actually, is there an energy in hand? There is also an energy in hand, so he is able to fulfill the attack cost of the Stoutland. So yeah, I think Moffat punted it by attacking with Sableye. But I don't think that there was likely a way for him to attack with Raikou. So... And even if he could attack with Raikou, that... Yeah, I'm just trying to think. So he would have had to attack with Raikou on an active Archeops that had the energy, knock it out due to weakness, and then put 120 on, I guess, the Stoutland, I suppose? And then hope that Andrew didn't have the energies in order to attack with the Stoutland. But yeah, that was a really close game. It was definitely favored for Moffat in that first one, and then it was definitely favored for Andrew in the second one, and then the third one, since there were 2 Archeops and no energies really in the prize cards, it ended up really being anybody's game. So again, very close. They did tie in Swiss, so I believe Moffat would have won the game in... I don't remember. I recorded it 2 days ago, so I don't even remember exactly how the game ended up going. I just remembered they tied. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. That is top 4. We should be going on to the finals now. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. All that good stuff. And I will see you for the finals.